All right. Welcome to Happy Hour Holidaze, your podcast for business, entrepreneurship, and life stories, where your go-to for inspiration, motivation, and all kinds of people that succeeded in this world. Today, we got Manny Fresh, host. We got Sean Fabre, and we got in the house, former Buccaneer standout, radio personality, Ian Beckles. What's up, Ian?
How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. Doing great. I saw you change it up with the radio voice, dude.
Did I change it?
I was like, dude, it sounds good, dog.
I don't know. I don't know if I changed it. I think this is all I got. I slow down a little bit, you know.
So, man, I know a lot of people, they hear you on the radio. They've heard all your podcasts, everything you've done here in the Tampa Bay area. But a lot of times, we want to know Ian Beckles, the person, who became a professional football player, got drafted by 2 professional leagues, which is, unheard of. It's like solid. So what kind of, I know you played a lot of sports growing up. What kind of pushed you into football and, becoming a, standout in the NFL?
Well, I mean, I don't know if anything pushed me to football.
Yeah.
I was clearly athletic growing up, so I played every sport. I actually played hockey before I played football. So, my father spent a bunch of money on some hockey equipment, and then I sucked at hockey, brother. I mean, like I'm in Montreal, Canada, and everybody had already been skating, and I tried to skate and get in the league, and my father liked hockey.
Yeah.
Being from Trinidad, he didn't know anything about football or the other sports, so he was trying to push me into hockey, and I sucked at hockey. And then I was walking in the park, and I saw one coach called me over. He goes, "You just play football, son?" I go, "No." He goes, "You need to give this note to your parents." And it was just said, he needs to be playing football. 'Cause I was a big kid, And then so I went out for football and, fell in love with football because obviously I was built for it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to knock people out legally, which is pretty cool. I miss that. I like to knock people out sometimes, but there's rules against that. And I was drawn to football. I was drawn to a lot of sports. On test day, don't come to me, okay? But on game day, you can depend on me. That's been more my thing. So I was definitely drawn to sports. If you took sports out of my life in general, I think 90% of my life would go away.
Me too.
You think about this. I played football my whole life, from 7 till in my 30s. I played baseball. I played basketball. I did track.
Soccer?
No.
That's the only reason I thought. The only reason I would ask that, only because Trinidad. I mean, their biggest thing, right, is football or soccer.
Well,
soccer.
it's actually cricket.
Oh, cricket.
Cricket's the big. We don't have cricket here. Yeah. I'm clearly not a soccer player. Although, let me say this: in day camp, I was the baddest goalie. Soccer, I'm not built for it. If you want my kryptonite, is long distance running. If you make me run a distance, I'm the most useless athlete out there. But if it's an explosive, anaerobic game where you're just moving short distances, nobody could beat me in any sports growing up. I was pretty good at that.
When you started out in football at a young age, what position did you play?
I was a lineman for most of my career. I was a better athlete than a lot of kids that were half my size. And then I was messing around at the end of one year when I was a lineman, and the coach gave me the ball. He goes, "Run with it," and nobody was able to tackle me. Like my whole life, on the streets or whatever. If you're not a fantastic football player, you can't tackle me. I'm just telling you, I'm gonna put my hand right in your face, and you're gonna be on your back. And that's just the way it is. Like when I got to high school and played rugby, like I led the league in tries, which is touchdowns. I'm 295, running a 4.9, benching 400 pounds in high school. If you're not a fantastic football player, you're not tackling me. It's just not happening. So once I got to lifting weights and realized I was bigger and stronger and faster than everybody else, physical sports were easy to me. Yeah. But I was still good at basketball. I was a very good baseball player. So my hand-eye coordination was pretty good. And like I said, I wasn't the most scholastic person in the world. So I knew sports was my way out for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't want to see you coming towards me on 2 skates playing hockey.
Well,
either,
that's the best way to see me because you want to, reduce my size, put me on some skates. Because a guy 150 in Montreal is going to clobber me on some skates. Skate. You ever get on some skates?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well then
but-
you have no idea. That's not you're walking on razor blades. That's crazy. No, thank you.
It's not anything like rollerblades, right?
It's way harder.
Way harder.
It's
Because I
way,
roll
way-
rollerblading.
Yeah,
and
rollerblading is tough. But when you first started rollerblading, but skates, like ice skates, is completely different. It's a completely different animal.
oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
And like when you played offensive line, like I know there wasn't really like any stats or anything, but you know, you had a lot of 1,000-yard rushers while you were on the line. I mean, you had Ricky Waters, Eric Red, Reggie Cobb. I mean, you know, solid running backs. So in your eyes, being an offensive lineman, how did you guys see, hey, I played well today? Was it the run game or just, hey, not allowing any sacks? I mean, what was the overall like feeling for the offensive line? Hey, we succeeded as a unit today.
Well, I mean, as an offensive line, you win and lose by winning and losing. Okay, there's some games where the offensive line didn't play well and we won. Okay, so we'll take that.
Yeah.
But football is a very individual type sport. You know, like I can't worry about what the DBs are doing. Okay, I can't worry about what the tight ends are doing. I have to worry about what I'm doing. Okay, so really, it's just about how I played and how I assess my play. So. You know, there's times we won games, and I went in on Monday, and I had my head down. I know I didn't play well. It doesn't matter to me if we won or not, if I didn't play well. Yeah. And it's the other end of the spectrum, too. Sometimes you lose and you balled out.
Yeah.
And you can't really celebrate playing well. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword, but you have to be your biggest critic, okay? If I say I played poorly, then to me, I played poorly. But I'm clearly my biggest critic. There was a lot of coaches that were able to inspire me. I had some that could, but I was a self-inspiring type of person. I don't really need anybody to inspire me. I was just motivated by not wanting to lose. I don't like to lose in anything. Yeah. And even today, I don't care if we sit down and play Madden or chess or anything. I just want to win.
And I mean, literally, you have to have that kind of personality in order to play at the top level. I mean, to make it to the NFL, there's no way you could say, hey, I don't care if I win or lose. You got to want to fucking win all the time.
Well, I don't think you could restrict it to the NFL. I think if you want to be successful in anything in the world, you got to want to be great. So you got to sacrifice. You got to be in a little bit of pain. Okay. I think a lot of young kids these days are scared to be in pain, and they're scared to be uncomfortable. You won't make it.
You got to be everything. Yeah, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's a fact. Yeah,
that's the only way to succeed.
It's the only way. And listen, I'm 56 years old. All right, I don't want nobody to tell me I'm tough. I know I'm tough. I don't need anybody to tell me that. What do you mean? I could show you situations where I was tough. You know what I mean? I could tell you things I've done which would make me tough. And if I'm comparing myself to these individuals today, it was more than tough.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's just, these kids today
they're offended by everything. That's really what it is, bro.
And listen, do I want my kids to get bullied? I'm not sure I could say no. We all got bullied. Yeah. You have to figure out a way to stop a bully or you'll be bullied your whole life. Everybody wants to stop bullying. I watch a show and a mother's on there saying, they're bullying my son. And the kid's sitting there crying. I'm like, what the hell you think you're doing to this damn kid? The kid's softer than tissue paper. You know, if my son was like, hey, Dad, they're bullying me in school, I'd say, all right, these are two things you can do. Either take it or dot his freaking eye.
Oh, shit.
That's it. Dot his damn eye. I mean, or else take it.
Yeah, I mean that's what my dad was. He's like, you either whoop his ass, or if you don't whoop his ass, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
I mean that's
what it is, man. The tough people up, man. Because I mean, if you get bullied and you take that shit all the time, it's gonna follow you with life. Everybody else is gonna walk all over you.
I mean, but it makes sense, right? The younger generation was brought up by, I think, the people that were baby boomers, and they wanted to give everything that they didn't have to their kids. So now the kids feel entitled to what they never really earned. So, I mean, our parents are from Cuba, so they didn't give a shit. They're like, hey, if you want to make it in this world, you're going to have to work hard and harder than everybody else in order to succeed.
Well, I think a lot of parents that are from elsewhere have a different mentality, and looking at these kids today, they think bullying is somebody saying something to them on social media.
That's stupid.
Are you shitting me?
Man.
I mean, on social media, that's bullying.
Sticks and stones, man.
I mean, I got bullied straight in my face. You know what I mean? By older kids, and it's part of it. Okay, it's part of growing up. We have to stop bullying and cyberbullying. I'm like, man, bro, I wanted, like, my kids grew up with. Okay, I didn't grow up with. My kids grew up with whatever they wanted. I was trying to make it tough on them. It's hard to make it tough on them. They live in Culbreth Isles. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's tough.
That's in South Tampa for you people that don't know.
Yeah, you know, and it's just not a lot of reality in there. You know what I mean? So I made them get a job. I made them work for their insurance. And, you know, everybody, you make your kids work? Yeah, hell yeah. I don't want my kids to be these spoiled young kids that are entitled to some shit they don't even deserve. You got to work, man.
How old are your kids?
My kids I got 3 kids, but 27 to 30. They changes every day, so their ages. But they're all grown up now. They're all still in Tampa. They're all working, and you know they're all successful in their own right. And listen, success to me is just doing what you want to do. To me, is success. I mean, you could be a successful janitor if that's what you want to do. If that makes you happy, you know what I mean. They all seem happy, and that's all I want. They're all working every day and they're working hard. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean that's a proud moment because I mean in this day and age you don't know what the fuck your kids are gonna do.
Never know.
You got to guide them a little bit. I feel like the more you're in their lives, the easier it's gonna be for them not to get fucked up in this world right now. But I mean, sports definitely is the easiest way to kind of get that leadership. That team, that team working together. So for me, I'm just like, man, yeah, all I wanted, I got one son, and I'm like, yo, I play golf with a guy. He's only like a year and a half.
Okay.
But hey, I'm playing golf. I'm playing football. I'm playing soccer. All the sports, whatever it is. I'm like, I hope this helps.
Sure.
Like keep them out of the the range.
Do you miss the fact that you were in that kind of camaraderie in a team, and now it's I'm not sure if you have it. I'm sure you have a team around you, but not the same as going in the trenches with 53 guys. Do you miss that at all? Or?
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
And it's not the actual game itself that I miss because I look at it now, it looks ridiculous. Like as I get older,
You're talking about like roughing the passer.
No, not that. Just the game itself. Okay. When I was doing it, I didn't know any better. Like I was blocking Reggie White and John Randall and stuff. Now I look at it and I just go, that's hard. Like I didn't have time to think about it being hard at the time. I played against John Randall 17 times. All right. I've seen John Randall end people's career. I've seen Reggie White end people's career. So when I look at it now and I watch guys blocking Aaron Donald and stuff, and I'm like, well, I did something equivalent to that. That's hard to do, but at the time you couldn't think about that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now, as you get older, I will never have that camaraderie, that locker room thing again. I don't want to play because that looks crazy. It looks like my body hurts enough. I probably couldn't even run through the tunnel. I'd like to run through the tunnel again and have 80,000 people cheer for me. That would be cool. Yeah. But then I want to take the pads off. I don't want no more after that. But that locker room thing, there's no way you can replace that. But I kind of do have a team now, and I treat it like a locker room to where I bring up some of the battles I went through and, the lessons I'm trying to teach people that you just can't be late. Can't be late. It's not an option. You know what I mean? So those kind of things like that, I learned from Tony Dungy, who I was blessed to interview last week. I do a podcast with Derek Brooks and Beckles. And we had Tony Dungy, and we interviewed him for about 45 minutes. And, I teach a lot of his lessons that he taught us. It's the little things. It has to be important to you. You know what I mean? And he just instilled that in us. It's not important enough. And when it became important enough for everybody, and you have to know what that is yourself, we started to win. And unfortunately, I only had 1 year with that of Tony Dungy. I would have loved to have stayed. But I in that 1 year, I learned a lot as far as accountability and what it takes to win, okay? And when I got to Philadelphia, I went to a place that had been winning, and Ray Rhodes kind of lost that locker room to where he didn't have enough discipline, and we started losing over here. Then I had to watch the Buccaneers start winning over here, so that was a little bit tough. And I even asked Tony Dungy, how tough was it watching that Super Bowl? Because he's as Christian as a man I've ever met in my life, okay? I'm 56. I've never met a Christian man half that Christian. All right, he's way more Christian than everybody else because I watch him. Everything he does is Christian. Like I have people say, I'm a Christian. I go, what the hell does that mean to you? And they don't have an answer. Tony Dungy will have an answer. He'll tell you all of it, okay? But he's also living it. You know what I'm saying? But I asked him, I go, I know you're a positive person. I know nothing negative is going to come out of your mouth, but how hard was that to watch your team in the Super Bowl and you weren't there?
I was about to ask that question.
Like, that's God. It's like
because John Gruden comes in the next year,
Correct.
wins the Super Bowl, and then he's up in Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's your team. You know what I mean? You got them cats ready for that. I also say this. People say, well, that was Dungy's team. I said, no, it wasn't. That was Gruden's team. Nope. It was Gruden's team. You have to give him that. But he said, Beck was tough, but I loved those guys so much that I was cheering for them. You know what I mean? He still, I think he was bitter for a little bit. I don't think he has a lot of bitter in him. When you first get fired, everybody's bitter. You have to be. Yeah. But then I asked him. I was on air at the time when he got fired, and I said it was time for Tony Dungy to get fired. I said that. It was getting too comfortable. Sometimes you're somewhere too long, and everybody around you gets comfortable. Warren Sapp, I said something, and Warren goes, it was time for Tony to leave because everybody was getting comfortable. And even Tony said the firing was warranted.
You know, I like what you said about John Gruden. It was John Gruden's team because on the other side of the field, who were the Bucs playing? John Gruden's old team.
Sure, absolutely.
So, I mean, John Gruden's a phenomenal coach, in my opinion. So's Tony Dungy.
Well, we can debate that one.
Can we?
Yes, we can.
Well, when we get back, let's debate that one. All right, heading back into the conversation. Well, you know, not so much of a debate. How about your take on John Gruden then?
My take on John Gruden.
Because you said, you know, I said, well, I mean, he did put the Raiders on the other side of that Super Bowl field.
Yep.
And he took Tony Dungy's old team to the Super Bowl.
Sure did.
I mean,
well, let me say this about John Gruden. I have maximum exposure to John Gruden. He was my offensive coordinator when I was in Philadelphia. We had a great offense. We had a terrible defense. So
who's the quarterback at that time?
Who was Bobby Hoying for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Ty Detmer.
Yep.
Rodney Peete. So not really big names, okay? So and we were singing it all over the place. I've never been around an offensive mind like John Gruden's. Like he taught me probably more than any other offensive coach I've been around. When I got to a meeting, he was like, Ian Beckles. I said, yeah. He goes, what coverage are they in? I go, I don't understand. He goes, what coverage are they in? I said, I don't understand. Like I didn't understand the question. Nobody ever asked me that question before. What difference is it? What do I give a shit what coverage they're in, right? So he goes, well, who you guys accounted for? I said, we're accounting for the corner. He's the first guy outside the mic. He goes, look at the corner. Is he backed up? And I go, no. He goes, so can he blitz? I go, no. He goes, and why would you go there? I never thought about that. I go, but I can't change it. He goes, yeah, you can. He goes, go ahead and change. He goes, change it, and we'll move in one, and we're making our, everything tighter. And I was like, well, I've been doing this wrong for 8 years. You know what I mean? Like, nobody ever asked me that before, right? So John Gruden has one of the better offensive minds I've ever been around. Now, I've never been around somebody that will ignite a room more than John Gruden to where people want to rip his eyeballs out, okay? I'll give you a good example. I was in Philadelphia. My first year, he was our offensive coordinator. I shot my foot up 6 straight weeks to play, and the doctor was like, I'm not doing it again because you might rupture your foot and you'll be dragging it the rest of your life. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit down one game. And then our other guard got hurt. And then Ray Rhodes came to me and go, can you do one more week, Beck? I go, for you, Ray, I'm going to do it. I shot my foot up again, played. And the doctor looked at me and goes, I'm not doing it anymore. He goes, I'm not doing it again. And it was still 5 games left. So I had to tell Ray, I go, listen, Ray, I want to go, but I need surgery and the doctor won't do it no more. Here comes John Gruden, little bitty ass in the locker room walking through. And he looks at me, he goes, I hear you're quitting on the team.
Oh, shit.
I look at him, I stand up, I go, you talking to me? He goes, yeah, I hear you quitting on the team. I take a step forward, and my boy Richard Cooper gets to me, he goes, don't do that, Beck. And I look at him, I go, you didn't get your little punk ass out of here before you get tossed up. And he walked out the room. That was my interaction with John Gruden, and he was gone the next year, all right? He comes here, he inherits Tony Dungy's team. It was his team that won the Super Bowl. He was the best person to inject into that team for that 1 year, all right? If you give John Gruden the team for 1 year, he might be the best. But that second year, they're going to hate him. Okay? Go back and look at John Gruden's tenure. John Gruden never allows a player to be successful for 2 straight years. It's an ego thing. I don't care if it's quarterback, running back, wide receiver. He had issues with everybody. I know. I talked to Derek Brooks. I talked to Warren Sapp. I talked to John Lynch. I talked to all those guys that were in that defensive meeting room. John never came in there. They didn't want him in there. It was them and them.
And Monty Kiffin, right?
Monty Kiffin ran that.
Yeah.
Ron Marinelli ran that. Lovie Smith ran that. John Gruden was the offensive guy. They didn't give a shit what John Gruden said. That's real. And they won the Super Bowl, great. If you talk to all those players individually on the side about John Gruden, they don't trust him. If you talk to them on camera or on, with a microphone in front of their face, they'll say, I respect them. Because nobody wants to hear you talk bad about your Super Bowl winning coach, right? But I know these guys personally. So the conversations are a little bit different. I've heard some people look at me and they go, like I talk about John Gruden, and they go, don't trust that son of a bitch. And I go, I wouldn't worry about that. He's just not a trustworthy person. If he tells you something, it ain't happening, okay? It's going to be the opposite. Like I've sat down with Mike Allstott before, had some drinks with Mike Allstott, say, how did it go? How was it with Gruden? He said, every week Gruden would put his arm around me. This is your week. You're my guy. And we all saw what happened. He just didn't give Mike the damn ball, ever. Mike went from a running back, making the Pro Bowl as a fullback, as a technicality, to a fullback just blocking, they wouldn't give him the ball. Anybody ever seen Mike Allstott's highlight films?
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're fucking
There's
unbelievable.
no reason to have him on the field and not give him the ball. None.
Yeah.
So that's what John Gruden did.
Yeah.
And everybody thought that was on the up and up. Mike Allstott couldn't block, okay?
Yeah, he wasn't
He
good.
couldn't block. And they made him a blocking fullback.
And he's like third most rushing yards in the Bucks all-time career. Yeah.
I would put Mike Allstott's best runs against any running back to ever play the game.
Talking about, coaches, let's change gears to Dave Canales, man.
Okay.
What do you think about his offensive scheme? Do you approve? Because me personally, I think his offensive scheme is very, very predictable. It's run, pass. And then if you get the first down, pass. It's fucking ridiculous, man. And this is his first year being an OC. Before he was the quarterback's coach at Seattle. What do you think about Dave Canales? Everybody's asking for his head. They want it.
Yeah, it's too early for that.
Is it too early? 9 games? 9 games?
It's too
10
early.
weeks?
It's too early. It's his first year calling plays. You know what I mean?
Why do the Bucks do that? Why do they make first-time coaches all the time? I heard they just have an academy opening up.
Yeah, but
where-
Tony Dungy was a first-time coach. Rod Marinelli was a first-time coach. Lovie Smith was a first-time coach. Herb Edwards was a first-time coach. We're talking about the best ever, right?
Mike Thompson or Thompson?
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Tomlin, yeah.
They're all great,
Pittsburgh,
first-time coaches. Canales, see, here's the problem I have, okay? Everybody rates coaches from results, all right?
Shit, yeah.
But okay, listen. 3 years ago, Byron Leftwich was the best play caller on the planet.
Because he was an offensive coordinator.
Okay. Then the next year, people started questioning him. And last year, he sucked.
Because he goes sub 500.
Okay, but is it the play calling or is it the players? Because last year, our players weren't as good as they were 3 years ago. It's not the play calling. Canales could call the same plays with better players, and those plays work. If you have an offensive line that can run block, and on the first play you run the ball, watch the Lions.
But if the Bucks cannot run block, why call the run over and over again to gain 1 or 2 yards and have a 3rd and 7?
Okay, who's your quarterback?
Fucking Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so if you don't call a run, what happens? He throws it 50 times. What happens when he throws it 50 times?
3 interceptions.
He's going to throw 3 interceptions. Yeah. So listen, if Tony Dungy was calling or was a head coach, you would hate Canales. Could we be some punting son of bitches? Because he would know you have to have an equation to win. And this is where football is getting wonky for me, okay? I sat down in rooms with Tony Dungy. I sat down in rooms with Bill Parcells, and he would say, here's the equation to win. And so often now I'm watching teams with quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield or Jameis Winston throw the ball 45 times. Does anybody think that's an equation to win?
Unless you have Tom Brady, no.
Yeah, I was about to
with Tom
say.
Brady, well, once again, with Tom Brady, okay, I get it.
Even though they were still running it about 25% of the time with Lenny, I mean.
Sure, but listen, Tom Brady is one of few quarterbacks that can throw the ball 45 times a game and win. Give me 3 more.
Drew Brees?
Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, he's gone. Not at the end.
No.
Not at the end. No. You don't want Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball 45
Brett
times
Favre?
right now.
Brett Favre?
Well, you're not talking about anybody's playing now.
Joe Montana?
Anybody's playing now.
Anybody's playing now? Okay.
Oh, Pat Mahomes?
Okay,
Pat
we'll give it
Mahomes.
to him. He's a Hall of Famer.
Josh Allen?
Yeah. I mean,
Joe Burrow?
He's
Josh
got,
Allen.
He's got a lot of turnovers right now.
If he throws the ball 45 times, he's going to turn the ball over.
Yeah, he is.
Josh Allen's going to turn the ball over.
No, let's talk. There's got to be
He's
one
like-
more.
No, I mean, there's not many.
Kirk
Not
Cousins?
many.
Kirk Cousins?
Well, he's out now.
Yeah, I know he's out, but he's had a pretty
Yeah.
good
And
season.
Minnesota still won.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins, okay. But I'd rather him not throw the ball 45 times.
No, you're right.
He was at his best when Dalvin Cook was running the ball. They're all at their best when you run the football.
Yeah, because they have the play action
Sure.
option. That's
And
really
listen,
the only reason.
Jared Goff is
bro,
great.
Dak Prescott.
Nah, get the fuck out
Yeah,
of
I'm
here.
just saying.
Dak Prescott?
5 total touchdowns, 404 yards in 3 quarters.
One game.
No. Did
One
you see
game.
the game before that?
Who are
and
they
the
playing?
game before
Who are they
that?
playing?
Have you seen Dak play 4 good games in a row?
No, but we'll see next
well,
week.
that's what he's going to have to do to win the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a choke artist just like all the.
What about Jalen Hurts? Well, he runs a lot.
And Jay, you don't want him throwing 45
no,
times.
He
Nah,
runs a lot
man.
more.
But we watched this for years here. How many Jameis Winston probably averaged throwing the ball 45 times a game. And I was like, that's not the equation. The equation should be run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Jameis, play defense. I mean, it's got to be that.
But what if you don't have a good running back?
Well, you know what? Remember back in the day, the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, Terrell Davis,
John
anybody,
Anybody, Gary, didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Whoever was there was getting almost 2,000 yards.
My boy Clinton Portis.
Yeah, Clinton Portis.
It didn't matter. John Elway didn't win a Super Bowl till they ran the football.
Yeah, that's true.
Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl because he didn't run the football. When you have to play in December and January and you don't run the football, you're going to have some problems. That's why I like the Lions, man.
I like the Lions, too.
The Lions, man. They run the football. We finna run it. We run it down your throat. If we don't, 2nd and 9, run it again. And by the 4th quarter, your defense is all tenderized and soft. We don't tenderize nobody. We don't. When it's 3rd and 1 this year, and listen, I'm not going to defend Canales. I don't think he's a great play caller, to be honest with you. But he's also a rookie. He's a rookie play caller. I saw Canales once on 3rd and 1. I think it was 4th and 1. Line up his shotgun and run a stretch. Never seen that in my entire life. It was with -4 yards. And I go,
what are you doing?
Like, who the hell thinks that's going to work? You got defensive linemen barreling up the field, and you got guys in 2-point stances running a stretch. It doesn't work. It won't work. So I think he's learning. He'll be better next year. It's just like, listen.
So you think he's coming back next year?
Oh, yeah, he'll come
Yeah,
back.
I think they'll all be back next year.
Yeah.
I think they'll all be back next year. Like, people look at rookies like Cody Mauch, who's playing right guard. And I listen to sports radio. We should bench him. To do what? He's getting better.
To put who in?
Listen, I started 16 games my rookie year. If I went back and watched the film, I bet I would throw up in my mouth. It was so terrible. But I was getting better. You got to leave somebody in there to freaking get some battle wounds and to make mistakes, and you don't make the same mistakes. Canales is in there making some mistakes, and then the mistakes are going to have to stop eventually. Has he been all that impressive? Nope. But you know what? It's no less impressive than our defense. I think our offense and defense are just unpredictable. Yeah. You don't know what you're going to get.
It goes to, our defense, because they allowed 6 points this week, and then the week before they allowed 30-plus points.
Correct.
And it's like, okay, well, I know Todd Bowles is switching up the scheme where he didn't want to blitz or pressure C.J. Stroud because he's able to throw the long ball and then boom, that's it, 90-yard touchdown. But at the same time, shouldn't they be more consistent?
Well, they're not consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, you look, I think before the Houston game, I looked and the Bucs were 20th ranked in defense. Why is that good? We went through a decade of being top 5. Yeah. Before the Houston game, we were ranked 20th. So we're not higher than 20th right now. So, offensively, what are we, 25th? I mean, we're just, we don't do anything. If I say what do the Bucs do consistently?
Not be able to run the ball.
They could. Well, I'd say consistently they lose games by less than 3 points.
Okay, well, that's because they don't do anything consistently. What do they fall back on? Pass rush? Run the football? They don't even stop the run as well anymore. So, I mean, yesterday they could have had 6 turnovers. Easily.
You mean the two interceptions by
there was
Winfield?
I don't know how
Or
many balls.
Levante David just dropped one.
Dude, there were so many in guys' hands. 2 were taken away from Antoine Winfield Jr. by our own team.
Yeah, I saw that.
He got one, and there was, I don't know.
3. He got a layup is what he got.
I mean, there's been a lot of them out there, brother, and we're not opportunistic. Back in the day, that ball gets tipped with the Buccaneers, that ball's going the other way for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And like, people want to compare Levante David to Derrick Brooks. Don't do that no more.
Not even close.
Don't do that no more.
You know what they're comparing it to is just the amount of tackles that he's getting. That's about it.
How about effects and defenses, and how many times you've seen the ball hit Levante David in the chest?
And then drop.
Go back and watch how many times you see the ball get hit Derrick Brooks in the chest and he gets interception.
Pick 6.
Not jumping, in his chest. That means he knew exactly where that ball was going.
Same with Rondé Barber. He has the most interceptions in Bucs franchise history.
You won't
like 41
you won't
or
find
something
an interception of Rondé Barber's with. It's a great catch. He's always on top of the ball. Yeah. He knows where that ball's going.
Well, and he's going after the ball.
Correct.
And this is what I see a lot from Winfield is that he's waiting for it. It's like, no, bro, go after the ball. Go make the play.
You almost answered your own question right there. You talk about one is going after the ball, the other one's playing more passive. Now, if Warren Sapp and Simeon Rice and Marcus Jones and Chidi Ahadatu are going after your quarterback, you got 2.5 seconds. We play against the Bucs, man. You might have 5-6 seconds, man. You can't play aggressive defensive if you don't have a good pass rush. Everybody thinks it's the DBs. You can't find any DBs that are good that don't have a good pass rush. I asked Tony Dungy, what's more important, a pass rush or DBs? He looks at me and goes, pass rush. Who told you otherwise?
Don't we have a good pass rush?
Who?
I mean,
Vita Vea?
That's all we have. I mean, he's the only one.
So our 360-pound Samoan nose guard is our best pass rusher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying there.
No.
I see what you're saying there.
There ain't no fast pressure from Vita Vea.
No.
You ever watch Max Crosby? You ever watch Aiden Hutchinson? You ever watch Khalil Mack? You ever watch the Bosas? It's quick pressure, man. You ever watch Micah Parsons? Yeah. JTS plays the same position as Micah Parsons, kinda. Ain't the same animal.
No, but if you put Devin White in that position,
nope.
Why?
He's short, and they'll smash him.
So he's not comparable to Micah Parsons as far as size?
No. Absolutely not.
No, damn. Because they said,
we have like 4 or 5 sacks.
Yeah, but who? Micah Parsons? You're talking about?
No, the Bucs.
The Bucs did have some, okay, but they're not a great rush. That was against a rookie.
Yeah,
it was against a rookie. You see what I'm saying? Now that there's just no consistent pressure. Vita Vea got one of them.
Well, I mean, but against a rookie, C.J. Stroud, we didn't do dick.
No, we didn't. You're right about that. Yeah. But I just to sack a rookie a bunch. Levis was completely baffled yesterday. We had him baffled, clearly. Yeah. In the middle of the game, somebody goes, I go, he's baffled. He will never lose this game. Offensively, everybody keeps on rating Baker Mayfield up and down, up and down, up and down. He plays the same.
Yeah, he's average.
Every week he plays exactly the same. It has to do with what people around him are doing. Yesterday, we could have had 10, 15 more points maybe if Mike Evans catches the ball.
Baker did overthrow like 4 or 5 passes.
The one ball where Mike had 3 steps, he grossly underthrown it. That was a touchdown.
He did.
Grossly. Yeah. And listen, we scored our points off a 70-yard screen pass. You know what I mean? So Baker Mayfield is what it is. And it's not good, bad, or indifferent. He's just mid.
There was a hole, and there was a hole that they needed to patch, and they patched it real well.
And Kyle Trask wouldn't fill that hole.
No, hell no. That guy's
I'll be honest with you. I'm just.
Please don't say Kyle Trask is good. Man.
Oh no, please come on. Come on. I'll be honest with you. I listen to sports radio still sometimes, not often, and I hear people still asking for Kyle Trask.
Fuck that.
Let me give you an example, okay? If Kyle Trask was a 7th-round draft pick that went to Indiana, you would never hear his name. He's just because he was a high draft pick that went to the University of Florida.
That's it.
It's just Florida fans that, well, you don't know how good he was in college. Well, if I had a nickel for every time somebody was good in college and sucked in the NFL.
Johnny Manziel.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, seriously. I mean, the list is very, very long.
Yeah.
And they brought in Baker Mayfield, who we said is mid. why would you want to start with Baker Mayfield when you have a young kid who has potential? It doesn't make it easy. If the kid could play, you don't think that the Green Bay Packers knew what they had in Aaron Rodgers when he was playing scout team? Yeah. You don't think Kansas City knew what they had in Mahomes when he was playing scout team? He's been playing scout team for years, and we still don't give him a chance. And he's not that impressive.
Yeah. When we get back, we'll continue with Ian. I want to ask him, like, as far as memorable moments in his career, as far as the football game. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Happy Hour Holidaze. I'm going to ask Ian right here, what's some of the most, let's just say, one of your most memorable games as, let's go Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Okay. One of Sam Weich's first games, he came back. We played in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I think it was Ricky Waters' first game. And remember the who for what game where he short-armed the ball, and, well, that was against the Bucs in the first game of the season. I mean, Eric Rett was a running back, and I remember going to the sideline, and so Sam didn't really know anybody. And he goes, we need to run. I go, run 16 tag. I'm gonna kill Romanowski. He goes, all right, we'll see. So we run 16 tag, and I kind of come back, and it's me and Romo. And I think it's on YouTube somewhere, but I just decapitated Bill Romanowski. I mean, I decleated him, picked him up, dumped him on his back. Eric Rett cut off of me for a 30-yard touchdown. And I come back to the sideline and go, wait till you see that block. Okay, so I got a game ball for that one.
Oh, shit.
We didn't win many games, bro.
No,
you know
that's what I'm saying. I was like looking at the timeline.
Yeah.
It was the 1990s when you were drafted, and that's when the Bucs started actually getting good, right? The
well,
90s.
Good. Not good, no.
I mean, I wouldn't say
they didn't get good till Dungy.
Yeah, till Dungy, right? Because Steve Weiss was still there with Trent Dilfer was the quarterback, or was
we had Dilfer, we had Erickson. We didn't win many games.
No.
Sam Weich, I think we started off 4-2 maybe 1 year, but we just tanked after that.
You know what our dad called Trent Dilfer? Trent Dildo.
Well, Trent wasn't ready. Neither were we, though.
Yeah.
We weren't good around him, so I don't want to blame Trent. He just wasn't ready. Neither was Vinny.
Vinny Testaverde.
They just put it in there too early. There wasn't enough around him.
I think he has the second most pass yards in.
I've always said if Vinny would have got drafted,
did he win a Super Bowl?
No,
because he went to the Jets afterwards.
No,
right?
Well, he tore his Achilles that first game, or else they'd have won to the Super Bowl with the Jets that year. Yeah. Vinny was one of those. I said if Vinny would have got drafted by San Francisco and had Bill Walsh over there, I'm not sure he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
No shit.
I mean, he was here with Ray Perkins, and then finally when he got good offensive coordinators, he was balling at the end of his career. But he didn't have great coaching at the beginning.
Do you think that Mike Evans is a Hall of Fame?
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, I hear I hear so many people say he's not, and I don't understand why they think that.
I mean, how can somebody who's done something nobody else has done? I don't get that.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, come on. He's still going.
Yeah.
He's still going.
And
he dropped balls yesterday, but he had 140 yards. Come on, now he's going to get 1,000 yards again.
Yeah,
and that's
not a debate.
That's going to be like 11 or 12 seasons in a row.
Yeah. Listen, somebody asked me. I was the biggest Gerald McCoy hater. I still am. I just think he's the most overrated player that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and that I've ever seen in my whole life. Okay. Yep. Somebody said, "Well, do you think he deserves to be in the Ring of Honor?" I go, 100%.
No, what?
100%. He went to like 6 Pro Bowls.
Yeah, but he's still...
there's no but nothing. It's the Ring of Honor. He went to 6 Pro Bowls. He 100% believes he should be in the Ring of Honor. If you ask me, he's one of the best players ever? No, absolutely not. He went to 6 Pro Bowls. Whether it was warranted or not, he belongs in the Ring of Honor.
So not Hall of Fame?
No, hell no, not the Hall of Fame.
Okay, well,
Paul Gruber is in the Ring of Honor. He went to no Pro Bowls. By the way, Tony Mayberry, 3 Pro Bowls, not in the Ring of Honor. He should be up there.
I know you played it. It was Paul Gruber and Tony Mayberry. You were alongside them. I mean, that was a good squad, right?
Tony started for 9 years and missed a game.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember his name, man.
Yeah.
You can never forget. I mean, I was only like fucking 4 or 5, but my dad would sit there every Sunday and watch the creamsicles.
That's it, man. Lose.
He would take us to a couple of the games, and we were young back then. I don't know, probably
4 or 5, man, or 5 or 6 or whatever, man. And then he would always say he would always get tickets to the Barry Sanders show. He'd be like, this motherfucker ran 280 yarders today.
Hey, isn't it funny, man? They used to play the Bucs all the time because they were in the same division, right?
Yeah,
the Bucs and the Lions. Yeah,
I missed that division. Man.
History.
We had the
if you look at all of Barry Sanders' highlights, 75% of them are against the Bucks.
And John Lynch.
Yeah,
John Lynch is missing a tackle. And John Lynch is a Hall of Famer himself, but Barry didn't treat him right at all.
Well, Barry, in my opinion, should have the most rushing yardages. But I hear that he retired early due to respect to Walter Payton.
I don't know if it's that deep. I just don't know if Barry loved the game as much as Walter Payton did.
Yeah.
Again, once you don't love it anymore, you got to go.
Do you think maybe he didn't love it because he was playing on the
No, I just don't think
Lions?
he loved it.
No?
I don't think did he look like he loved it?
I mean, the way he played looked like he loved it.
Did it?
It looked like he was running for his life. Because
Did he look like he loved it though?
What do you mean by that?
Well, after he scored a touchdown, we just had the ball over. I never saw him happy.
Because
I never seen him jump up and down. I never seen him do anything.
Because he knew they were going to lose.
Well, they went to the playoffs back in the day.
Did they?
One time, right? One time with Scott Mitchell?
I think they went a couple of times. They never did anything.
No.
But I know people who played with him, and he just was a very calm guy. He just wasn't very emotional. He was very to himself. I would probably almost compare him to Ricky Williams.
No, Ricky Williams
I watched
stoned.
I watched this
time.
documentary. Yeah, that was good though. I mean,
I don't know why anybody would not like Ricky
I
Williams.
loved Ricky Williams.
Well, I had his jersey.
Yeah, I had his jersey.
Yeah,
I watched all his things. I would cut out the newspaper articles.
Yeah,
I watched them.
He's
at
not
Texas.
joking.
I was like, dude, that was my favorite player.
He had all his cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We had in my dignitary tea in Carve House. We had a Ricky Williams 420 jersey up there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, signed by him, and it was pretty cool.
420. Yeah.
He just wanted to. I mean, he just wanted to smoke weed, but he also looked at it as, well, you guys are just going to run me 380 more times and fuck up my body?
I mean, he was running very well.
Yeah, they should literally give players weed as they walk outside. You know, as you're going to your car, you should be given a joint. Because they just give you fucking pills.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, going into that for the NFL, I mean, there isn't.
They call it performance enhancing.
Yeah, well, no, it's performance somehow. I mean,
I don't understand how.
But the biggest thing is that the pills are really ruining the players because it deteriorates bone, density, all that bullshit. If you let people just smoke weed,
no, they're allowed now.
No,
they're allowed. No, they don't test them anymore.
Oh, for that?
Yeah, don't test for weed anymore.
When you said you were getting your foot shot up with cortisone, or what were they shooting into your foot?
Just
a bunch of painkillers,
numbing shit. Yeah, and it works till probably about the fourth quarter that it feels like your foot's going through the turf.
So to the NFL, shooting up a bunch of painkillers into someone's foot is better off.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
but listen,
but it's better off than someone smoking weed.
Correct.
Like, how does that make sense?
Well, I got a Toradol shot every Friday and every Sunday. And then some doctor was like, what? I go, yeah, I got a Toradol shot every Friday and Sunday. They look at me and they go, you're not supposed to get more than one a month.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, I was getting 2 a week. And now you find out, it did this and this and this and this. And
are you seeing any health benefits that are deteriorating your body because of that?
How am I going to measure it?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm 56 years old, all right? So
do you feel older than 56, I guess is the way you'd measure it?
No.
No?
No, when I run into...
Body's good, no aches and pains?
What does good mean?
No aches and pains?
Well, let me say this. If I'm comparing myself to a regular 56-year-old person, I have way more aches and pains than them. Way more. If I'm comparing myself to another 56-year-old person who played in the NFL for 9 years, my body's better than 98% of them.
Oh, shit.
Because I do take my care of myself and I stretch and I try to eat right for the most part, but not all the time. I try to do things and taking CMOS and this and that stuff to take away inflammation. So, I don't drink alcohol anymore. I smoke hella weed. I got THC is coming through my veins, and it certainly does help. But I just try to do whatever I can to not get old.
Do you take this stuff?
Well, what is this?
It's an edible chocolate.
I mean, I have a smoke shop in the Dignitary Tea and Carve House. We're a smoke shop, so we sell Delta 8 stuff.
That's Delta 9, though.
Yeah, we have Delta 9 as well.
One of our guests brought it in, so
listen, Delta 9.
You can have it if you want.
I will take it.
I don't.
I will take it.
I will take it.
You gotta ask them twice.
Yeah. He gave us these too, which are
what you got?
The smaller ones, but those are Delta 9 also from the same company.
You giving them all to me?
Yeah, take them, bro. Because I don't eat those things.
My people eat them.
I'll
eat them myself.
I smoke weed. I don't I don't eat weed.
Well, you should come by the Dignitary.
I know. I was gonna say we need to come by there
Yeah.
and check it out
Yeah.
one day, dude.
Yeah, Dignitary is pretty. We're very 420 friendly. We always had an outdoor consumption lounge.
Yeah.
Now we have an indoor area where if you have your medical card and you want to smoke, we watch football there. And sometimes it's myself and Tony Mayberry's there, and Ty J. Armstrong is there, and a bunch of old hats. So Mark Royals, the old punters there. Usually.
Oh shit,
so
Mark Royals.
he
looked like a stoner from
No,
there.
Mark has never smoked.
Really?
Never.
Damn, he had
Yeah,
he had kind of like the mullet with the handlebar.
He still has it, my friend. He got some good ass hair. But Mark's never smoked in his life. I've given him a couple of edibles.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I give him a couple of edibles. I give him some like infused oils or whatever. But he don't smoke. He's very health conscious.
So Ian, after you got out of the NFL career, how did you transition to radio, man? Because I mean, you became like a local legend here in Tampa. I mean, I've been listening to your show. I mean, when it was Ron and Ian for the longest time, man. How did you feel like, hey, man, I think I like this radio thing, or was it something that somebody came up to you and was like, hey, bro, I think you'd be good for this?
You were on after the big dog, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I was on after the big dog. I took over for Chris Thomas unfortunately, when he passed. I also took over for the big dog when he passed. So I took over for Legends. The second one you said, somebody came up to me. I was like literally Jane Portnoy used to work for the Buccaneers, and she said, you like sports radio? And I said, what is that? She goes, it's radio talking about sports. And I go, I don't know. Never heard it in my life. I'd never heard sports radio before I started. And she goes, well, the station is looking for somebody. I think you'd be good at it. And I'm saying, well, so where do I go? And she gave me the station. I listened to it. I was like, these guys know what the hell they're talking about. So then I auditioned for it, me and 10 other people, and I got it. So I got a job at 620. And then I was doing a game day show for a while. Then I started doing a Monday night show. Then I would fill in for Chris Thomas. Then I became more of a name. Then I took over for Chris with the Ron and Ian. And then Ron and Ian did 9 to noon. Then we did noon to 3. And then we did for the drive time. And then I did Beckles and Retcher afterwards with Jay Retcher.
That was a popular one too. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I did, in the middle, I did 2 years with The Bone. And right now I'm still on The Bone on Saturdays from noon to 2. I'm on Mike Calta's show. I just came from the Mike Calta show just now. Every Monday, talking football. So, I'm staying relevant. I got a bunch of podcasts. I have one with Dr. Gina Love, Mental Intimacy, In the Trenches. And we have Brooks and Beckles as well. So I'm staying relevant and getting my name out there and just talking as much football as I can or whatever.
I'm curious, did 95.7 The Fan ever approach you like with Booger and I forget the other guy's name?
No, I was on a real station.
Yeah,
that one closed down anyway.
It did after like 2 years.
Yeah, at the time, I was on a real station, and that was like when people asked me, "Why don't you play for the Storm?" I go, "Because I played in a real league."
Yeah.
And that's
Kurt Warner might say otherwise.
Listen, I did.
Greatest show
I was
on
a
earth.
color analyst for the Storm, and all due respect, but after you play 9 years in the NFL, you're not supposed to play for the Storm.
No.
No.
You're not supposed to.
No, that should be your come up. If
you do, you didn't do good with your money.
Yeah.
And when you got drafted, Ian, obviously the NFL was still the best one, but when you got drafted for, number 2, I mean, it's the CFL, but who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got drafted in the NFL. Was there like, there was no fucking like decision. You were like NFL.
No,
how do you get like? Do they automatically put you in if you're a college person, or you got to put yourself
Probably
in?
have to announce, right?
No, I think you're automatically in. I don't know how that works. Maybe your agent puts you in somehow. If you're playing NCAA football, you obviously want to play at the next level.
Yeah.
I came from the NFL Combine, did all my testing. I went to the CFL Combine. Nobody knew who I was. I only started for 1 year in college. So I got to the CFL Combine. Everybody's like, who are you? And nobody knew who I was. And then they had some drills where they were doing one-on-one pass rush. And I borrowed my buddy's helmet. And I went out there. And I went from not being and nobody knowing who I was to the second pick.
I know.
I really wish somebody had that film.
Tape, that film.
I was housing cats. I mean, I was like, this is all I got to do is beat these stiff cats. And I mean, I play offense and defense. Nobody could block me. And I mean, I was locking dudes and throwing them. And I went from nobody knowing to second pick.
How come you didn't want to go to defense? Like a DB or something like that.
I mean, the DB.
No,
not
nose
DB.
tackle.
Nose tackle.
Well,
No,
listen,
it wanted to be on the defensive line.
and when in junior college, I played D-line.
Defensive end, my
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
I'm not a good enough athlete to be defensive line, to be honest with you. As an offensive lineman, I'm a above average athlete. If you put me on defensive line, I'd be a below average athlete. Those guys are better athletes than us.
Because they got to swim.
Well, they're faster, they're longer.
You said you ran 4.9?
I ran a 4.8 in college. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's fast.
For a big guy, it
Yeah,
is,
for a big
yeah.
guy,
Because you're like, what, 6'3", 6'4"?
6'1", brother.
Oh, 6'1".
I was the shortest guy in the league my whole career.
6'1". How much were you back then in terms of weight?
I started off at 295. I ended up at 320.
Bro, but still 6'1", 320. That's
Well, there was very few stronger than I was.
yeah.
So didn't have in height, I made up in strength and want to.
So I've seen a couple of D linemen, and their fingers are like this.
Well, mine aren't exactly. I
I
dislocated.
mean, yours look straighter than the
Okay.
ones I've seen.
Not
So-
that one right
Watch me
there.
bend my thumbs. Ready?
yeah. Wait, you're being serious?
No, look serious.
You can't bend them?
At all. My thumbs don't bend at all.
Oh fuck,
And I dislocated all 10 fingers.
bro! How do you drive? Like this?
Very carefully. Very carefully. Just like I do everything else, very carefully. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's part of it. It's if you played 9 years in the trenches, your fingers won't be good. There's no way. It's impossible.
That's like the biggest injury you probably experience every single game, right?
You like I hear people say, "Oh, this quarterback's playing with dislocated finger." I'm like, who gives a shit? Like nobody cared if I had a dislocated finger. In Green Bay, it's cold out. You dislocate your finger, they pop it back in,
Yeah, they just-
and you throw you back on the field. And you got to block Reggie White in the cold. Nobody gave a
How
shit.
was that, man? Because Reggie White was an animal.
He was. I would put my film up against Reggie's. I seen Reggie end careers. I played well against Reggie. I played very well against John Randall. I played well against Howie Long, Chester McLaughlin. I played against a lot of Hall of Famers. Some guys you've never heard of before ate my lunch.
No shit.
Yeah. Some guys, taller, longer guys, sometimes are just a handful. Keith Hamilton from the Giants, Frank Warren from the Saints, just long dudes that were just...
Once the game's over, is everything like copacetic? Nobody's got bad beef unless you really hate the person. I mean,
There's not a lot of hate out there. There wasn't a lot of hate from me.
because it's professional, right? I
Yeah,
mean, you're like you're doing a job.
Yeah, it
and-
depends on the person.
yeah.
Like Eric Swan was just an asshole, so we didn't get along. My nemesis while we played was Brian Cox. Like me and him fought.
That's Chicago, right?
Yeah. He played for Miami too.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah.
We fought a couple times, cost me $1,000 a pop. I could use that money today. But we hated each other, dude. We always just went at it. And then my last year, I was with the Jets briefly before I got hurt. And he was in the locker room, and he was like, "You that dirty motherfucker from Tampa, ain't you?" I go, "I guess so." And he stuck his hand out, and he shook my hand. He goes, "Good to have you." And that was it. I mean,
That's right. He played for the Jets too, didn't he?
at the end, yeah. He ran that locker room too,
Oh, he did.
and it was locker room was full of stars.
Hey, you gotta leave at
Anyway,
11:45.
I gotta head out. of
Okay,
here,
all right. So
unfortunately.
we only got like a minute, 30
All right.
seconds.
All right, just Ian, if you can, just tell us your like final words or words of motivation for the young people that are coming up playing football and stuff,
Yeah.
or just overall in life, man.
Well, listen, I was a short, fat offensive lineman from Montreal, Canada, and I ended up playing 9 years in the NFL. So I don't know where you're from, but you're probably not going to have to overcome more odds than I did. And in this day and age, and of watching these young kids who there's not a lot of dogs out there. If you're a dog, you'll surpass anybody. You know what I mean? So, don't let somebody tell you can't do it. If I listened to people, I wouldn't be here. And just go kick some ass, man. Go kick some ass.
I love it, dog.
Yeah, you gotta wrap it up quick.
Yeah. No, hey, thank you everybody for listening to Happy Hour Holidays. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our podcast. If you have any questions for Ian Beckles, he also does a ton of radio shows, podcasts, all kinds of stuff. Check out his place in South Tampa. It's freaking awesome, and we really appreciate having you on, Ian, man.
Anytime. Dignitary Tea and Kava House, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. Pull up.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.